It's December 15th and provide you an update with what I've been doing over the past week. What's standing here is the TR4A frame. I had lifted the body off of this frame last week or the week before, and last week I removed all the suspension components as well as the differential. So it's standing here. As I mentioned, this will go up for sale. If it doesn't sell, it'll go to the scrap yard. I moved the TR250 onto the lift, and my next mission is to begin to strip the remainder of the components off of this vehicle. Got quite a bit of the interior removed, the dash and all of the gauges, the wiring, the heater, everything's been removed out of the interior. Still have a little bit more to do with regards to the dash pad and the windscreen frame. After I complete that, I'll move into the engine bay and remove some of the components to make lifting the body off the frame a little bit easier. Also last week, I took the TR4A body and placed it on my replacement frame that I picked up in Portland. It's kind of interesting. A lot of questions were raised about whether or not TR6 frame will fit under a TR4A body, and the answer is yes, it does. Just as an IRS, and this TR4A was an IRS as well. So it'll sit there for a while. Just have the fenders hanging, didn't do any fitment or anything. This is the donor body that I'm going to take the back end and use that. It's in good shape, pretty much rust-free, and substitute everything from the A-pillars forward. So it's going to be a kind of a short week and actually a short month. I'll be headed out of town on Thursday and probably won't do any more work on the Triumph until the New Year's. So Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year's. One of the goals I had set this week was to dismantle the front suspension. In order to dismantle the front suspension, you have to deal with the spring, and you need to have a spring compressor to compress the spring so you can remove the spring plate. The spring plate looks like this. Of course, you have your coil spring, and then the spring plate. The spring plate attaches to the bottom like that. There are 4 nuts and bolts in the front, and then in the back, those are studs with nuts. So I made a homemade spring compressor. Used 5/16 inch flat stock, drilled the holes, and the purpose for drilling the holes is it'll go on like that. So just something to hold it centered. I have a 5/8 inch threaded rod, 3 nuts, they're 15/16 and 3 washers. And of course, since I don't have a clip, I'm going to use a safety nail like that. So let's commence. So this is the bottom view of the lower spring pan. The 4 studs coming out are used to mount the lower portion of the shock, and on the top is where the spring nestles in. There is a grommet there that the spring sits on top of. The first step I'm going to do in removing this shock is, if I can do it with one hand, I'm looking at the picture, I'm going to tighten my plate up. Okay, so I have the spring compressor plate mounted onto the shock mounting studs. And now the next step, I'll feed the rod through the top end down through this plate. Okay, gonna feed it down through the bottom of the shock tower. And I can hit the hole in the compressor plate. Okay, we got the washer and the two nuts cinched up against each other, and I apologize, just have a nail for my safety just in case these nuts would back out. Okay, my Okay, I got the spring compressed. Fasteners on the pan. Okay, all of the 9/16" fasteners have been removed. Again, there's two studs at the back of the plate right here. So we have two studs and then two bolts, 4 bolts, nuts and bolts go on there. One comment, the back nuts are a little bit hard because they're close to the frame, and using an extension is kind of difficult, but it is manageable. All right, now I'm ready to start tightening up the spring, compress it so I can release the lower spring plate.